and I quote you, Shlomo Ben-Ami, who's the former foreign minister of Israel, who took part in the Camp David Accords, and he said in an interview in 2006, Camp David was not the missed opportunity for the Palestinians, and if I were a Palestinian, I would have rejected Camp David.
That Camp David was not the missed opportunity for the Palestinians, and if I were a Palestinian, I would have rejected Camp David as well. This is something I put in the book. But Taba is the problem. The Clinton parameters are the problem. Because the Clinton parameters, in my view...
Maybe you could explain them what that is. I don't think most people will know the Clinton parameters. So
well, the Clinton parameters say the following. They say that on the territorial issue, the Palestinians will get 100% of Gaza, 97% of the West Bank, plus a safe passage from Gaza to the West Bank to make the state viable. There will be a land swap. The 97%, which I mentioned, takes into account the land swap, where they will get 3% on this side within the state of Israel. So we will have the blocks of settlements, and they will be able to settle refugees on this side of the border. About Jerusalem, it says what is Jewish is Israeli, and what is Palestinian is what is Arab is Palestinian. It includes full-fledged sovereignty for the Palestinians on Temple Mount, on the Haram al-Sharif, no sovereignty, no Jewish sovereignty on the Haram al-Sharif, which was at the time and continues to be a major problem for Israelis and Jews, that these things mean to them a lot. And then with the question of refugees, it says that the refugees will return to historic Palestine, to historical Palestine, and that Israel will maintain its sovereign right of admission. That is, it will have to absorb a number of refugees, but with restrictions that need to be negotiated between the parties. But the bulk of the refugees will be allowed to return to the state of Palestine. This is the essence of the Clinton parameters. What Dr. Finkelstein said here about international law, I want to make it clear. It is important, it is vital for a civilized community of nations to have an access of principles based on international law around which to run the affairs of our chaotic world. It is very important, it is vital, etc. But at the same time, when you go into political issues and you need to settle differences, historical differences, differences that have to do with political rights, security concerns, historical memories, etc. It is almost impossible to do things on the basis of international law, but rather on something that is as close as possible to the requirements of international law. The very fact that, as Dr. Finkelstein rightly says, the Palestinians were ready to make this or that concession, is the reflection of them understanding that there is no viability, there is no possibility really to reach an agreement that says let us apply automatically and rigidly the requirements of international law.
Former Israeli Foreign Minister Shlomo Ben-Ami debating Norman Finkelstein in a Firehouse studio. We moved our discussion then to the last time Israelis and Palestinians met for peace negotiations in the Egyptian resort town of Taba in January 2001. This is Norman Finkelstein.
What actually happened? What actually happened was exactly as what was announced by the White House spokesman on January 3rd, 2001. The official statement was both the Israelis and the Palestinians have accepted the Clinton parameters with some reservations. Both sides entered reservations on the Clinton parameters. Yes. Dr. Ben-Ami leaves out in the book both sides. He only mentions the reservations by the Palestinians. Number two, I was surprised to notice One of the books Dr. Ben-Ami recommends is the book by Clayton Swisher called The Truth at Camp David. I looked in the book. On page 402 of Clayton Swisher's book, when he's discussing the issue of entering reservations to Clinton's parameters, he quotes none other than Shlomo Ben-Ami. You acknowledged, you called them relatively minor, but you acknowledged that Barak entered, you called it several pages of reservations. In fact, Barak sent a 10-page letter of reservations to the Clinton parameters. It was exactly symmetrical. Both the Israelis and the Palestinians agreed to the Clinton parameters with some reservations. Yeah. Wait, one last point. Dr. Ben-Ami left out another crucial point in his account. He doesn't tell us why Taba ended. It ended officially when Barak withdrew his negotiators. It wasn't the Palestinians who walked out of Taba.